Hello, this is Claus Jensen. Welcome to my blog and to my first test video. I'm going to present to you the game that I recently played on live on this site against Tartajubow. Tartajubow is the very same player as the one that played under the handle Mascat on redhotporn.com. The rules of this game were no time limits, no engines, no endgame table bases, but books and opening databases were allowed. Tartajubow chose the black pieces, so I opened my favorite 1 e4, and he replied e6, French defense, d4, d5, knight d2. Lately I've preferred the positional tarot variation instead of the more tactical and sharp Vinegar, knight c3. But okay, knight d2, and now d takes e4, knight takes e4, and now a very safe bishop e7. I develop knight f3, knight f6, bishop d3, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, and now knight d7. Until now, very natural developing moves: queen e2, c5, castles, rook d1, trying to take control of the soon-to-be open d-file, and black has to move his queen immediately, and he does so by moving it to c7, and now c3. Very natural developing moves on both sides, and we are following the game Yarmolinsky-Saravan from 1997. But now Tartajubow decides to take on d4, and this is the first important decision for me to make in the game. Should I retake with my pawn? Should I retake with my knight f3, or should I retake with the rook on d1? Pawn takes d4 looks. I never really considered this option because I might be interested in keeping queenside majority, pawn majority in an endgame, and the isolated d pawn is not very attractive. So I never really considered that. What I did consider was to take with the knight instead. It looks very natural, and there's nothing wrong with this move, but it somewhat takes away the focus from the king side. And with relatively bad developed black pieces, I think white should focus on kingside attacks. So I decided instead to take with the rook. Rook takes d4. It looks a little risky. The rook could easily be chased around, losing tempi and helping black develop faster. But actually, the rook is placed relatively safe in the center of the board, and it could very quickly turn into a dangerous attack if it's allowed to go to the G or the H file. Black now plays f5. He decides to shut down the bishop e4 immediately. He's afraid of attacks on h7, and in this position, Fritz, the chess engine, recommends bishop d5 because it takes advantage of the pin on the pawn e6. So if e takes d5, then queen takes e7 and queen c6, and white has a very active position, and it's very hard to defend for black. But I chose the natural bishop c2. And now black has a natural follow-up to his previous move. He plays e5. It gains more space in the center. With tempo, it threatens the rook on d4. And now I had another decision to make. I could play rook d1. It looks natural. It keeps control of the d-file, but it also blocks my a1 rook, which I would like to put on d1 or e1. and black is now able to make a developing move. So I decided instead to go for rook c1, very aggressive and very annoying for black. Black is forced to move his queen instead of developing another piece. And the only square black can go to is d6. It's covering the pawn on e5, which is threatened by the knight of 3 and the queen e2. And now I considered playing knight g5, but if black doesn't take on g5 and I can retake with my bishop, then I couldn't see where to put my bishop on c1. There's no good square for the bishop, so instead I decided to play bishop g5 immediately. Black took and I retook, and here black is in some trouble already. His pieces are very immobile, and white has no problems getting an even more active position with moves like bishop b3, rook d1, and maybe even queen h5. Black here makes a decisive mistake. He plays e4. The only proper defense and the last chance for a defense for black was probably queen g6, and now white will probably play bishop b3, king h8, knight e6, queen takes e6, rook takes c8, queen b6. This is probably playable for black, but it's not an easy defense to find and to come up with, and I still think white is better. But after e4, I played the very natural but very strong rook d1, taking the d file with tempo and threatening all kinds of nasty things for black. Black has to move his queen once again, and he moves to f6, and now bishop b3, and of course immediately threatening discover check whenever I move my rook c4, and there's actually no proper defense for black. He can try queen takes g5, rook takes c8, check, king h8, rook takes e8, rook takes a8, rook takes d7, and white is simply a piece up. Another line could be king h8, and then knight e6, knight e5, knight takes f8, queen takes f8, rook c d4, and white is now up the exchange, and black has no compensation. So actually in this position black decided to resign, maybe a little early, but there are no proper defenses available, so he rightfully resigned at this point. And this was the first live game on clausjensen.com. I hope there will be a lot more in the future. If you're interested in playing a game with me, please contact me at my email, info@clausjensen.com, or simply post a comment to one of my blog entries. Hope you enjoyed the game, and hope to see you back on my blog some other time. Bye for now.